everybody. It's a dump day, and we have a brand new episode for you with the amazing Bunny Love, who Bambi text Dave and I, we got a new story for you, and somebody needs to come on.
Yeah, it worked out beautifully. Episode 107 is one for the books, I believe. Bunny told some amazing MacGyver type of stories. We learned about like how to get your whole GI mapped. I mean, we learned a lot of stuff. So
yeah, we did.
It's a great one.
We need to do that GI mapping.
Yeah, that has to be a whole show. We have a whole bunch of things planned for the show, but that's one of them.
And Bambi even popped in because Bunny and Bambi were in the same room together. And I know this podcast is only audio and not visual, but we got to see Bambi, who is our MV Poopy for 2020. So
yes, she made a great guest appearance and always delivers. And
always good to see the Bambers.
I love the both of those little wacky ladies. They're my faves. And
cut from the same cloth.
Yeah, I couldn't be happier with the appearance. So thank you, Bunny Love, for being on the show. It was fantastic. We think you guys will love it. And if you have any stories or anything that you think, that was worthy of being on this show, give us a call at 203-998-5579. Or you can email us at
heypoopypodcast@gmail.com. Also, have you told your friends about this podcast? Are you subscribed? Can you rate and review us? We could even read your reviews on the podcast if you want that little bit of attention. But do us a favor and help us to help you. Or help you to help us.
Either way, you're helping us.
Just do something to help us and continue all the poop stories coming.
Yeah. We love fan support, and we're doing it for the fans. Yes. And for us. More importantly, we're doing it for us, but the fans are involved.
Well, I mean, I hung out with Chris Harder the other day, and he's like, "Do you think you've missed your calling?" And I was like, "I have recorded over 100 episodes of the Hey Poopy podcast, and it's still not boring to me. I actually think I just found my calling."
Yeah, I mean, when you strike gold, it's kind of.
Or in our case, we struck brown.
We struck brown, when the muddy waters of brown.
Ooh.
Hit us up via the voicemail or email. Either way, smoke signal, whatever you got. We
want to hear from you.
We'll find you and we'll talk about you.
Or send us news articles that you find, or funny pictures, or we're trying to figure out Reddit. If you know how Reddit works and there's some like fun subreddits that we should be a part of, send it to us.
Basically, what we're saying is, like, if you're young, if you're a young person that spends a lot of time online, interacting socially, digitally, let us know, because
socially inept as us.
Yeah. Because we don't know what the hell's going on. But we're learning slowly, but we're learning.
Oh my God, slowly.
And speaking of learning, listen to this show. It's great. This episode's fantastic. You might learn a thing or two, and we think you're going to enjoy it. So please listen in.
Hey Poopy, how you doing? Hey Poopy, how you doing?
I'm just, trying to find a place with like-minded people to talk about like-minded things about me, about poop and stuff.
Hey Poopy, how you doing? Hey Poopy, how you doing?
Oh man, what's this right here? Is this a podcast about poop?
And now, the Hey Poopy podcast with Dave and Ellen.
Hey, hello people. We are back on this dump a day.
And this is the Hey Poopy podcast with
Dave
and Ellen. And this is episode 107, but it'll always be number 2 to us.
Yes, near and dear. And we have an amazing guest. I'm so excited. The one and only Bunny Love has joined us on our show.
Excited.
Thank you. With actually, God. And we'll have another special pop in with one of our favorite guests of all time, Bambi the Mermaid, as well.
Who.
But yeah, Bunny, thank you so much for being on our show.
And if you got
much pleasure.
And if you guys heard the Bambi the Mermaid episode, Bunny is the person who watched the peaches.
Yeah, you were there for that.
I forgot you told that too.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Of course.
You were there for all the memorable fun stuff.
Yeah, we've been there and done that for sure.
Well, I'm really happy that you're on the show, and I'm super excited. So thank you.
Me too. Thank you for having me.
Of course.
And before, Benny, we go into more of who you are, we like to go into how you've been pooping recently. So how have you been pooping?
Well, there's really good news on that front. Yes, it's absolute, because I don't know how familiar you are with my journey, but it has been a long, hard journey with something I've really struggled with, being constipated and bloated, or having diarrhea. I mean, I've taken handfuls of Swiss Crisps basically since college.
Wow.
And if I didn't do that, I wouldn't poop at all.
Wow.
And it was so bad. Even when I took the Swiss Crisp, if I went on a trip, if I went somewhere and drank some different water, it would completely shut down.
Oh.
And a lot of that has to do with having a really severe allergy for gluten.
Wow.
And when I took care of that, I've been gluten-free for over 20 years, and things started to get a little bit better, but then it didn't get me where I needed to be. I was still taking Swiss Crisps, doing all that kind of stuff. And then, I went to see my, this is a very long answer to your question.
No, keep going. We love all the gritty details.
Okay. I went to see my, my primary care physician for a yearly checkup. I guess in the spring or something. And, I was telling her how really I'm taking all the Swiss Crisps all the time. And I know I want to stop taking it. And how can I do this? I know it's just been a lifetime of this stuff, and it's got to change. And, she said to me, well, not everybody's meant to poop every day. Some people only poop twice a day. And I thought, that's not right.
No, it's not right.
It's not right. It really made me reconsider her as my primary care physician, because I just no. I mean, I said to her, I don't think that's right. She was like, no, it's true. It's just but people are not the same. So
I do agree. Nobody's butthole is the same.
Right.
But food goes in, food must come out.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. You look at your dog. It's a great example of that. That's how it works. And it just makes sense. That's how it should work for us too.
Yes.
Totally.
And, so I have this very dear, incredibly talented, beautiful, wonderful friend named Kimberly Kaye in New Orleans. And we moved from New York to New Orleans about the same time. And she is a certified functional medicine health coach and nutritionalist. She was, I was her guinea pig here and there when she was learning about things, and now she's had her own practice for a little while. And I just finally decided to get really serious about my issue. And she suggested that I get a GI map test done. It's a DNA stool analysis, which is the best thing I've done towards my health in a really long time.
Wow.
And it gives you so much information. It gives you, it tests for parasites, bacteria, both good and bad, fungi, viruses, everything. It's just and you get a really good picture of what your microbiome looks like in the moment. And it's a lot of information, and you got to take it to somebody who knows how to interpret it and can steer you in the right direction. But for me, Kimberly was that person. And so we looked at my analysis, saw a lot of glaring problems that were really sticking out. I had a really severe overgrowth of both strep and staph.
Wow.
Guts. Yeah. So we're going to address this. I'm going to get you better. And she did. And we, my diet became very limited. She gave me all this information about eat, and it was pretty limiting, but it's this whole pretty simple diagram list of foods that are the mind-gut connection, you know, because I'm sure you've probably discussed this, but, you know, everyone refers to the gut as the second brain.
Yep.
People refer to it as the first brain because if nothing is going right in your gut, it's going to affect everything, including your brain. You know?
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. So she put me on this really strict protocol, which honestly, because we were like shut down and staying at home, it made it possible because I mean, it was to the point where you have to take like these herbs at this time, and then you have to wait 30 minutes, and then you have to take this, and then you have to eat this, and then you have to drink this. And it's very complicated. And it was, you know, pretty limiting, which I don't really mind because I have seen how like food can work as medicine and how important that is. And so like, you know, I don't know. I mean, I've had to give up a lot of things in my life, like as far as foods and things like that. But when you give something up and you realize that how bad that thing was making you feel,
Yeah, of course.
it's not much of a sacrifice.
Yeah.
100%.
And you give it up. So I did all of this stuff with her in like June. We started that, and that really strict protocol went on for about 2 months. But at the end of it, I am pooping great.
Wow.
Yay!
Every
That's amazing.
morning with no Swiss Chris. I took a meeting.
I was really excited about how awesome you're pooping now.
Okay. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, big round of applause for me. I mean, it's such great news, and I mean, I'm taking some stellar shits here.
Yeah!
Like perfect, like a big S shape in the bowl, a wipe with nothing there.
Wow.
I mean,
Yes!
really, really stellar. Yeah.
That's incredible.
Like, I know. I mean, I've been staying home, you know, because everybody's been staying home. But then I did travel in November, and I was wondering, like, oh, how's it going to be when I travel?
Yeah.
It was good. Yeah. It's
Oh,
all,
sweet.
Like, I texted Kimberly in all capitals, like, I can't believe how great I'm going to be when I'm on a trip. And she's just like, yay! We're all so excited. You know?
I remember when
it's
we
just so
interviewed
great.
Bambi back in the spring, she told us that you had a lot of problems pooping. So congratulations.
Yeah, that's
It's
amazing.
Finally getting to the bottom of your bottom.
Oh, yeah, it is. I mean, what a world of difference. It just makes me feel so much better. And it's so great to feel like, I mean, I knew my gut was fucked. I knew who it was.
Yeah.
And like now to see like, oh, it's actually working kind of how it's supposed to. Like I've had this weird pain, like right under my ribs on my right side, and just like a I guess a feeling of kind of congestion is really how I could describe it. Just like really uncomfortable. And like I had a whole ultrasound done, looking at that whole area, because like it's been there for years. And now that I've done this protocol and cleansed out my bowels, that is gone.
Wow.
Amazing.
That's incredible.
So it's really great. I was going to tell you that my friend Kimberly Kaye is her name, who's my functional medicine coach. And she's got a Patreon, and she's got a free article on there that is basically like 15 things that fuck up everybody's gut and poop. So
Oh,
it
excellent.
could be helpful for some.
Well, two
listeners
things.
out
We'll
there.
link to it on the website when this
Okay.
episode comes out. And two, you should introduce us to her because she sounds like somebody wonderful to interview in the future.
Yeah.
I think that would be great. She's had her own really severe struggle. She has Ehlers-Danlos syndrome.
Oh, yep. Yep.
Yeah.
What's that? I don't
know
know
a
what that
couple
is.
people with that.
What is it?
Oh, it's fairly rare, but it's, she'd been really sick for a long time and nobody knew what was wrong with her. She was in intestinal failure. She spent like almost a year in the Cleveland Clinic.
Oh,
and,
shit.
Yeah.
It's basically, Dave, it's basically this disease that when you're really hyper like hyper act, like your joints can like do contortion type stuff. And what is that called? Hyper. What is that called when you're
hyperextensions?
Hyperextension.
Yeah. And then, but those people, they also have really bad immune systems that go along with it. But it's very hard to diagnose the person. I have at least 3 friends who have been finally when they were diagnosed, and one of them ended up in a wheelchair because of it. Like,
oh shit.
Yeah. It's just degenerating of your entire insides.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think her being so sick is, I know it is the thing that like spurred her on to like try to help herself. And in that, eventually like going into this practice and helping lots of other people. So yeah, it's been pretty extreme. Like, I mean, they did a lot of things to her. They did one thing, which is probably interesting to you guys, is it's called basically a poop transfer.
Oh, a fecal implant? Yeah.
Yeah. We're dying to talk to somebody about that.
Well, she's your girl.
Oh, perfect. That's great.
She's really great, really
we
smart.
Need to talk to her.
Talented and would love to do it too.
That's awesome.
All about like spreading the good word. And that's, I mean, too, like I thought about when you asked me to do the show, and I was like, I got a handful of shit stories I could tell. But I actually think I also have an opportunity here to like share my own story with people and like maybe help somebody, because it's been a lifelong struggle for me. And like, I've done things that have improved it along the way, but just the couple of months of really intense work with her made a gigantic difference in my life, and I'm so grateful for it. Really,
completely.
Yeah, I'm really happy for you. That's pretty amazing.
I've told people who have like gut issues, I'm like, sometimes you just have to like maybe go back to basics with an elimination diet, and sometimes try to figure out what is that thing, like gluten or dairy. You have to figure. But it sounds like Kimberly took you on like a deep dive into resetting your gut.
I'm really interested in this whole GI mapping thing. That sounds pretty cool.
I know, Dave, the minute we're out of this fucking pandemic,
awesome.
That's something you and I have to do.
Yeah, I'm really interested in that.
Well, they send it to your house. You order it online. A box comes to your house. You put your poop in it. You send it back to them. And within like 2 weeks, they send you the whole medical report,
cool.
all the information in it.
Okay, Dave, we have to sign up for that today.
So there was this guy that we were trying to get on. I was trying to get on for a while. He kind of flaked on me a bunch of times, but he worked at a clinic that does like fecal implants, and that's one of the things they do to send out kits. But it was funny because, total side note, he would be like, they'd send the boxes and people would get confused and they would shit into Tupperware or like another box and then put that in the box. And they're like, you don't have to do any of that.
I'm sure. I mean, the directions are super explicit, but I did remember, like, I read them like 12 times myself, just like, is this how I do it? I don't want to mess this up. Like,
I just couldn't stop. He's like, they'd open up the box and there'd be like just shit like in a plastic bag, and like a plastic bag you get from like a supermarket, like, or like a brown paper bag. Or I thought that was the funniest fucking thing ever. And they're like, you got to redo it again. Oh, it's so funny.
Hey, Dave, so how have you been pooping?
I've been pooping okay. I went to the bathroom twice today.
Ooh.
Back to back in the morning. It was really weird, but it was fun. I had a nice like 4.5, 5-ish today.
Ooh.
On the Bristol stool chart, if we're keeping track.
Yeah.
And the second one was kind of loose because I had just gone like a half hour before that. So, but other than that, yeah, pretty good. It's been a good day.
Good. Yeah.
I have also been on a little more constipated side recently. And so I've been upping my psyllium husk the past 2 days and upping my water. So crossing fingers, something substantial happens. So my pooping has not been that great. I've been like pinching off like 2.5s. They're a little small, hard. And I really don't know what I ate to fuck my shit up.
Do you know about taking magnesium and vitamin C before you go to bed?
Oh, I do know about magnesium. I used to take it and then something happened, but maybe I need to get back on that.
I love that
vitamin
stuff.
C too. That's a good idea.
It's a combination, but you take a big dose. You take like I take like 3 giant magnesium tablets and 2,000 milligrams of vitamin C.
Wow.
I don't need that anymore, but in the beginning of my protocol, that's what I was doing, which worked great for me.
Amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'll look into that. Yeah,
Nice.
psyllium husk usually does the job for me. So I'm hoping.
But I have found like over my lifetime that like sometimes something works for me for a while and then it stops working.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
Yeah.
Even like the stuff like the Swiss Chris. Like I can't take
Mhm.
that every day because then all of a sudden my body it doesn't work with my body anymore.
no, I have to take like 6 of them, like a big handful at night, and then with like limited results. You know?
Yeah.
Not
Yep.
good. Not good at all.
But one other thing with my check-in that I wanted to tell everybody, because it's not really about me, but it's very interesting poop news. A friend of mine found a feral cat, took the cat in. The cat ended up being pregnant. The cat had kittens, which is so damn cute. And she's been posting all these videos on Instagram. I love it. But do you know that when a kitten is born, they don't wear diapers. They don't learn to go potty in the litter yet. Do you know how they poop?
Well, tell us how they do it.
The mama licks their butthole and eats the poop.
Ugh. Oh, that's disgusting.
I know.
Ugh.
This is something I just learned.
No.
And
Ugh.
that happens for weeks.
Ugh.
So mama is eating food, eating their poops, and giving them breast milk constantly. And they're gaining like a half an ounce a day. Like they're just like getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger so quickly. But yeah. Isn't that crazy? Because baby kittens don't wear little diapers.
That's disgusting.
I know.
Do dogs do that too?
No, dogs just like potty. They just like poop. I don't think the mama eats it. But cats do not.
Oh,
They eat the baby poop.
that's so fucking gross. I can't
I
even.
know.
You always learn something on this show.
I
Yeah.
just learned this in the past week. So I was like, I just thought kittens like came potty trained and they just knew how to go in the litter. But these kittens don't, their eyes aren't even open yet. They barely can walk.
So how? So how this? You just sort of just for a second. You're like part of my check-in. I'm like, so you're licking your ass or something? Like, I'm like, I don't. I'm like, do you use
I
some
just
new way?
wanted to educate the audience because sometimes we will talk about animal poop only when it's interesting facts.
Of course.
And this is an interesting animal shits fact.
I just was going like, where is this? She's like, okay. I'm like, you're like, so I tried it the other day. I licked my own ass, licked the shit out of my own asshole. I had my legs back. Gerald's like, what
Well,
do you
if
do?
I could lick my own ass, I wouldn't even be on the show right now. I'd have other things going on.
Right. You'd be busy.
Talk about contortionist.
Yeah, your schedule would be pretty booked up.
And then I have one more little check-in. The other
Okay.
day, I had these terrible cramps in my side, and I couldn't figure out why. And just farts were coming out of me. So, yeah. I've been gassy and no poopy recently.
Oh, I hate that.
It's the worst.
It'll come back.
Stabbing pains. Like it felt like somebody was taking a knife to my side.
Oof.
Awful.
No,
That sucks.
I think constipation is just the worst.
It is.
I would just pray for diarrhea all the time.
You're
you know?
preaching to the choir.
I mean, I know we talked about it a little bit in the show, but I feel like it seems like women get a little bit more of the constipation side than the men do.
They do. You're
Yeah,
correct.
because I have not had any kind of constipation problems in so long. I mean, occasionally, but like usually it's like a big gas pain, and then like at the middle of the night, it comes all out. You know, like rush to the toilet, like wake up out of cold sleep, run to the toilet kind of thing. But that does suck, though. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Sounds
Dave,
like
that's why Dave, you and I should do this like gut check-in thing where we mail in our shit because it would be interesting to show because you're so much looser, I'm more constipated, like just to show the difference.
Yeah, I mean, I would do that.
of our
That's
guts,
interesting.
You know,
you gotta do it. It's so.
I mean, yeah, I'll shit in the
so
box.
informative. Yeah, I think it costs $400.
oh wow,
Okay.
Not cheap.
we need to
And
get some
then-
sponsors then first.
Yeah.
Or someone,
It's gotta be-
or someone's
you gotta
Venmo
make
us.
sure you do like there's a lot of tests out there, but I can recommend the GI map by Diagnostic Solutions. That's what I did.
Okay.
Cool.
And then you do it, and then you like make some changes, and you get somewhere, and then you can do it again, like, you know, in 6 months or a year, to see what you progressed or what else is in there that you want to get rid of. And I mean, I was kind of surprised by what was in my gut. I truly thought there'd be more bugs and parasites. I mean, I've
like
been all over the world and eaten everything I could find. So.
They found like a conga line. Like a whole party. Well, actually, if anybody wants to Venmo us, they could do that, or somehow give us sponsors. They could do that. Or if they have any stories about that, you can give us.
Hey Poopy does need its own Venmo.
We do need our own Venmo, but friends of the show, you can call us at 203-998-5579. If you have any stories about this kind of stuff, or if you want to just, you know, let us sponsor us, if you will.
Yeah.
And then we're down. So
maybe by the time this episode comes out, we'll have a Venmo officially. We'll post it on the website.
Either way, we'll find a way to get that money. So
we'll have a Hey Poopy wish list.
Yes.
Yeah, you should reach out to Diagnostic Solutions and see if they want to sponsor you.
Can we get a spot? Let me see. I mean, hey, fuck it. I would do it. Yeah. I'm into it.
Yeah, I'll do it. I mean, Dave knows I reach out to literally anybody. I have emailed and some people don't respond to me, and some people we've been lucky to have amazing guests on because of it. So
I'll wear that shirt.
Well, I mean, you're doing God's work for sure.
Yes. Bunny, before we go into your stories, can you tell the audience a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure. I am Bunny Love, and I have been a burlesque performer for since we were small and dinosaurs roamed the earth. But I lived in New York most of my life, and that's how I know all you guys. But I moved to New Orleans a few years ago, which is where I'm from, where I grew up. And since I've moved to New Orleans, I've been doing a lot more acting and, you know, television and film and lots of theater, which I've been loving. And it's been really great. You know, of course, things were shut down in the pandemic, but things are back now. And, you know, last year, this time I was like, this is going to be my year.
Yeah.
And now this is
a lot. Yeah, this is it.
I think a lot of us were saying that last year. Now this year we're like,
we're all a little more cautious.
I just say this is the year. This is just a year. I'm like, this is just another year.
Yeah, that's true. Hopefully
actually,
it won't suck as much as the last one.
For people that aren't familiar, you can. Bunny was in American Horror Story.
Ah,
Yeah.
It was so great seeing on that.
Show.
You were on the Freak Show season, right?
Yeah. With the fabulous Matt Fraser.
Yes.
Yes.
Guest.
Who's also been a guest on our podcast. So
yeah. That sounds right.
Yeah. Awesome.
But this is good. There's a lot of work coming up. I mean, I guess, you know, nobody can plan too far ahead at this moment, but it seems to be like that's word on the street is, you know, that production's going to be so off the charts in New Orleans and in New York and in LA because, you know, in the brief 8 months that things were down, everybody's this huge backlog of needed entertainment, I suppose.
For sure.
Totally. Yeah.
Cool.
And now all new protocols, and then hopefully we all get vaccinated and can get on with our lives. So
yeah. We're ready for some better days ahead.
Hells yes. Well,
so, Bunny, do you want to go into some of your fabulous stories, especially the one that Bambi told us about recently?
Yeah.
She only gave us little hints to it. She didn't tell us the full thing.
Oh, I know. I'm sure she didn't. Like, I don't know. Like, you want me to tell other stories? You don't just want me to tell that story?
Oh, you can tell.
You can tell as many as you want. I mean, Bambi only gave us a teaser of the other one, which I thought was hilarious. But anyone you want to start off with doesn't matter. We're here for it all.
Okay. Well, you know, like everybody, you have the embarrassing shit stories. That's like, I feel like it's usually like mixed up in some kind of romantic way or something. I remember when I was a little kid, I was 11 years old, and I had this mad crush on this boy who lived in our neighborhood named Mark Dodart. And for whatever reason, I went over to his house one day and his mother wasn't home, and he was like, "Oh, you want to come in?" And I was like, "Yeah." And we were like hanging out, and he was showing me like, his records and stuff. And all of a sudden, like, I was like, "Oh no, I have to poop." But I didn't want to go home because I had this my one chance to be at Mark Godart's house. And so I went and used the bathroom and made this massive shit. and I turned around and looked at it and like filled the whole entire bowl. And I was
Whoa.
Like, oh no. And I went to go flush it and it wouldn't budge. It was just sitting there, this massive thing. And I was like, oh no. So I went out and tried to act like nothing was happening, and then he went in the bathroom and I was like, oh no. And he was like, what happened in here? And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. And I was so embarrassed. And he went to go flush the toilet. He couldn't flush it. And then he got mad at me. He was like, why did you do that? I didn't do anything. What do you mean? And he had to go get a wire hanger. Wire hanger. And I was like, what are you going to do with the wire hanger? He's like, well, I have to get this down somehow. Mom, you're not supposed to have anyone over, and my mother's going to be home soon. And I just kept thinking, like, why did you tell her you did it? And he was like, she won't believe that. What do you mean? She's going to believe I did it? What are you talking about? And then he got really mad at me and made me go home. And I just remember this image of him with the wire hanger jamming it down. And I was like running out there, like started crying out of embarrassment all the way home. Yeah.
Well, it's his loss.
When did your constipation start? Do you have it your whole life?
No. I mean, I think I used to have a fairly normal amount. I mean, I, created this like gigantic shit that was half my size when I was 11. So
Yeah,
well, that's what I'm wondering. Like, maybe like Hot Boys were your Swiss Chris as a kid, Yeah. Well, then, years later, I was in New York City, and I'd been seeing this guy, and he lived way uptown, and I never spent the night. And finally, I was like, okay, I spent the night for the first time, and he was like, we made coffee, and we had coffee, and then I was like, oh no, I have to poop. So I went and like did my thing in the bathroom and everything, ran the water, acted like I'm taking a shower and everything, and flushed the toilet. And the toilet started overflowing.
Oh, no.
And I had done, I had taken a bunch of Swiss Crisps. So I had some massive diarrhea. And then the toilet overflowed and started, just coming and coming and coming. It was a fairly big bathroom, but the water was like 2 inches deep. And I was like, oh no. I was grabbing towels. I was grabbing floor mats, trying to pick it all up. And finally it became like, I was like, oh God, this is unmanageable. It's going to flood his apartment. So I had to go and get the guy and be like, oh, I'm really sorry. But oh my God, he's like, oh, it's okay. And he's in there, he gets a mop and a bucket. And he's like in there. And I was just like, oh my God, this is so embarrassing. I can't believe this is happening. He's like, why? It's just a bunch of water. And your poo. I mean, you want to like keep your romantic partner. The idea is to not let them see you, right? Like probably ever, really, if you can manage. But, yeah, that was the end of our relationship.
Oh shit!
Last time I spent the night.
I like how he had a good game face on to help you clean up the mess, but then after he's like, I can't.
Wait, did he dump you? Was he like, yeah, I can't see anymore? Did he pretend like, was he like ghosting you afterwards?
Oh yeah, full on.
Oh,
just never answered another message.
Oh fuck.
That's terrible.
I know, but it's fine. He's a douchebag anyway.
Oh God.
Well, as we say on the show all the time, love is not romance. It's when you can help each other clean up shit stains and stuff. So he obviously wasn't a keeper. He could clean it up, but he couldn't hash it.
Yeah.
No, he couldn't. And then the more recent story, is with my wife, Bambi the Mermaid.
Aww.
We Well, we've all been in this lockdown. Nobody's seen anybody for forever, and she had a place in Sanibel, Florida, and we decided we would meet there. So we got our COVID test, and we met up. I drove over from New Orleans and met her in Gulf Breeze, Florida, and then we had this epic, gorgeous road trip all the way down, staying in great places, looking at mermaids and manatees the whole time, super fun. And finally get to our destination, which just, Sanibel's a magical place. And we get there and we check into and get our house. Everything's perfect. It's a lovely night. And then we get up the next day and look in the bathroom, and the tub is got this stuff, black shit, coming up from the tub, and what's that smell? And then the toilet wouldn't flush, wouldn't do anything, wouldn't move, and actually when we got there the first day, they had said, oh, they're working on something in your place, so you have to come back in an hour. And then apparently they fixed it. We got there, and so the tub is obviously something's wrong the next morning. And so I get up and Bambi says, oh, the toilet's stuff, I can't use it. And I said, well, what do you mean? What are we gonna do? And she's like, well, I'm waiting for the lady to get here. She doesn't get here till 9. I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm like,
you do the best impersonation of Bambi, by the way. When you start talking like her, it sounds exactly like her.
I mean, she should. You guys were married, so she's your wife.
So after a while, I'm like, so what did you do? And she's like, well, I got a Ziploc bag. I put in the Ziploc bag, and then I took it out and I closed it up and everything. And I was like, well, do you have another Ziploc bag? I knew the bag she was referring to. It was one of those gallon size, right? So I'm like, do you have another Ziploc bag? She's like, no. I'm like, well, what am I going to do? I saw you have a Ziploc bag where you have all those masks in it. Just use that one. I was like, I mean, at that point, I had no choice. We had no other Ziploc bag, no other nothing. So, and all I had was one of those, quart size little
shit.
Ziploc bag. So I was like, oh, okay, how am I gonna do this? But the end of the story is a good ending to the story. So yeah, I was actually able, because with my new pooping skills, have total control, and I was able to fill that little quart-sized bag up just to the brim, leaving me just enough to slide the Ziploc across, completely full. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it all started when she was like, I was like, what am I gonna do? And she's like, use the bag. And of course, we're cracking up, and I was like, oh no, we're gonna be on that pooping show, aren't we?
Wait, is she there? Is she in the room with you?
Yeah, I'm gonna get her right now.
What did you do with these bags afterwards?
Oh, well, then we took the bags and put them in the garbage and waited for the people.
Oh my God.
We luckily we were able to zip the Ziplocs and then just put them in the garbage.
I mean, it's impressive how you got it right to the seal.
It was impressive. It was impressive. I don't know. How was yours? Was yours? Here she is, queen of the poop.
Queen of the poop. This Ziploc bag thing is fantastic, by the way. I think.
Oh my God. Good.
You had the gallon size, so it made it easier for you.
Yeah.
Bunny's
really good.
Bunny's got some pretty good poop skills.
Zipper.
What?
It's really easy. It's got the stiff zipper, so you line up the zipper, all it's easy. It's so smart.
And it gets a lot of shape to it, so it does kind of, as long as you can just Get your butthole in the right place.
Yeah, I mean,
Zip it shut.
I am so impressed with the both of you. Like,
If
it's.
I had like one more chocolate drop in there, I wouldn't have been able to do it.
You'd have to have married yours into Bambi's bag
Yeah,
at that
you have to
point.
merge the two together.
Oh, yeah. That would be a different kind of poop transfer that we
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been.
Well, I love the fact that you guys are like in it together and you completely figured out that solution. And
I have two questions. One, how much longer were you staying at this place? And like when they came to clean it up, that was the only time you had to shit in the bags, right?
It was day one. We just got there.
just gotten there.
oh no.
First day of a week. We had a week ahead. We were like,
Oh,
and then she wouldn't let us use the bathroom in the office because it's COVID times.
are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh.
So what happened the rest of that week?
We were like,
they came.
we were like, we really have to go. Like, when is the plumber coming? It was like Christmas Eve. He wasn't going to come. And then we were like, okay, well, can we use the bathroom in here? And she was like, nope, sorry. We were like there was no, she had no suggestions.
Yeah,
of what
she
to
had
do.
an office with a restroom, but she just said, "I'm sure you have a Ziploc bag you can use."
But did you have to use a baggie every
Again?
day for a week?
No! They
They
came.
came.
Oh, good. That would have been ridiculous if they made you use like she just drops off a big bag of like Ziploc bags at the door for you.
I would have left that pile of Ziploc bags outside the office of that manager and been like, "Fuck you!
Oh my god.
This is what you get."
That's a really good idea. We totally should have done that. But it was like the first day, and we were like, oh.
Yeah, Bambi's really into it. She says she's gonna keep Ziploc bags in her car now.
That's a good but that's a good idea.
My mom gave me one of those she wieners, like that sheener funnel thing. And
Yeah.
I'm going to keep that inside of like 3 Ziplocs. So I'm
Yeah.
prepared for anything.
Yeah, that's a great idea though. I mean, the Ziploc bag is a good solution. I might have to incorporate that into my life.
Get the good kind. Get the high quality.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want any leakage.
Spend the
No
money.
leakage.
Yeah, I want to spend the money.
Yeah, you don't want to blow out the seam of a dollar store bag.
No,
It could be in real trouble.
my life.
In there, like, oh no.
I would be questioning my life
I'd
if
get
that happened to me.
if I were you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hefty.
Oh my god.
Oh god, I love you both so much. That is so fucking funny.
And then my second question, Bunny, is was there a moment where you're like, this is when I kind of miss my constipation? I don't want to be shitting in a bag.
You know what? I was so glad.
She wasn't going to do it at first. She was like really grossed out by me, and she was not going to do it. Things changed.
When you gotta go.
Yeah, because I was also worried about, my shit skills are a new like accomplishment. So I was worried, like, how am I going to be able to, like, like not overflow or something? And I was worried, like, if I was going to have diarrhea, that would have been an impossibility.
Yeah.
But luckily, it was, perfect, and it all worked out.
Wait, was Bambi in the room with you when you were doing it? Like, I just picture her like in the room, like laughing.
Or showing you how to do it. She's like, this is how I did it.
No. I mean, I knew, like, well. Yeah, I mean, hers was like a little easier because she had some room to spare. Like I said, mine was a real tight fit. So
That could be like on America's Got Talent. That act.
I thought about that as I was zipping the bag. It's like, I am just perfect. Had a little hole in the corner and go out and like frosting cake.
Yeah, Bambi contacted us like the next day and was like, we have to come back on the shit show. We got a new story.
Dude,
for
I
you.
was
like,
I knew a real hot story.
Got a hot batch.
Yeah, as it was happening, we were like, of course, laughing hysterically and saying like, "Oh God, we got to call Dave and Ellen."
Dude, thank you.
shit.
Thank you so much, by the way, because that was hilarious.
We've had a couple people on the show tell us about shitting in plastic bags, but it sounds more like grocery bags. Nobody has been on the show. Ziploc bags and then zipping it up. At the
Well, also, no one's done it on a quart-sized bag. That's got to be some kind of record, because I feel like I would fill that up really fast. I'd be so nervous that, oh my God, this is like a disaster.
It's great because then you can zip the Ziploc.
Yeah.
And to worry about the smell, or anything, at least for a little while.
Ziploc, this should be like a Ziploc commercial. Ziploc should be like,
Chip, Ellen,
yeah,
Don't go for those dollar store brands.
yeah, just zip it. Zip your shit. Oh my God. That is the best thing ever.
Too funny.
I love that story.
God.
We have
Thank
some.
you for Bambi for coming on again.
Thanks, Bambi.
Yeah,
Love it.
my pleasure.
Our MVP of 2020, our very important, our most
Valuable pooper. Most valuable
there we
pooper. I'm like, there's no I in there.
Oh my God.
That's awesome.
I'm so tired today. I didn't get a good night's sleep last night, and then I blew my nose this morning, and ever since then I have like a throbbing sinus headache from blowing my nose.
Oof.
So I'm not on my game today.
It's all right.
So,
you look good.
thank you. But as soon as I blew my nose, I was like, oh, why does it feel like somebody punched me in the face?
Well, it's better than shitting your pants, so.
Well, or in a Ziploc.
Yeah. I love that story so much.
Yeah. That was brilliant. Bunny, what kind of toilet paper do you like to use, and do you put it on the roll over or under?
I like the waterfalls to come over. Yeah, for sure. And I don't know. I usually buy whatever has soft and strong in the label.
Ooh.
I don't have a particular brand. I don't buy the cheapest stuff, that's for sure. But yeah, I also don't like to buy something that's too heavy because the plumbing in my house is like 100 years old. So
Yeah.
that's not good.
You don't want to clog it up.
No.
No, don't want to have to get Mark Dodart.
Yeah, you have to Mark Dodart. or the guy from New York to come back. He's like, I'll be on a plane. All right.
Bunny, do you sit or stand to wipe?
Who stands?
Exactly.
What's that? What? Has anyone ever said, yeah, I stand?
Yeah.
Laura Lee.
Oh, yeah, Laura Lee was one. Laura Lee stands.
Yeah.
She stands to wipe her butt. She's so thin, she doesn't even have to worry about her butt cheeks squishing together, so she can stand that.
I don't know about that. I mean, I've definitely shit in the outdoors somewhere, and maybe I stood up a little more. But on a regular, no, I just stay seated.
Yes.
Just like to stay seated. Yeah.
Yes. I mean, like, if you're at a public restroom and you hover and you stay standing, that's one thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hovering is definitely different than standing. Standing is like a whole.
Right.
The door just gets shut real quick.
To be like sitting down and then stand up and be like, okay, now I'm gonna. I don't know. No. But it's each his own. Whatever works for you.
Yeah.
And I think you pretty much answered with all your stories, all of our other questions. Like, we know floor versus pants, you're picking Ziploc bags. So
Right.
It's a new category. You picked it. You started a whole new category. Pants, floor, bag. Yeah.
Good.
You're so fancy.
The only other question that maybe you could touch on is if you ever seen a really bad public toilet that you were like, well, I gotta go. And a lot of people say like it's usually in like third world countries or at festivals where the porta potty is just evil.
Yeah, I mean, they do a better job of it these days, but 20 years ago, on the last day of Jazz Fest in New Orleans, I would rather who on the ground in front of everybody, in front of the portalette, than actually go in the portalette.
Oh,
shit. Ugh. Yeah, festivals. We've heard a lot of festival stories.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. I mean, it's not, I mean, the first couple of days, it's not that bad. You just hold your breath, go in, run out, and, you know. But that last days after it's been sitting in the sun and everything else, no. But I've also, you know, definitely been in a department store in Japan, and you know, had to go in a hole in the ground. You know, it's a pretty nice department store, and then you walk in, and that's just the way the bathroom was. And the sickest I've probably ever been in my whole entire life was on a train in China. And, I mean, I was throwing up and having diarrhea and running a terrible fever all at the same time. And I just remember going in the bathroom, and there was nothing but a hole in the ground. And you could see, like, you know, the railroad tracks passing you by. And so it's like, which one am I going to do? Am I going to shit or throw up in this hole? Yeah.
Oh my God.
That was a lot. And then they were like, when you get to Beijing, we're going to have to take you to the hospital. And I was like, oh, no, you're not taking me to the hospital in China. And so I made a miraculous recovery. And we didn't have to
Nice.
But, yeah.
That's crazy that the train track is just like a hole, because it makes you think the entire train track is just covered in people's shit from going by constantly.
Probably.
I'm sure it is. Yeah.
Just shellacked with shit. Oh. Oh, well,
I feel like I just unloaded a whole lot.
Oh, you did. You came in guns blazing. Thank you.
You've taught us so much about gut health, and your stories have been fabulous.
It's been great. Well,
Good. I mean, I know that people are starting to talk about like your microbiome a lot more and all that, but it's really, I mean, it's important, but I just think you know, if you can afford it, if you are so inclined to do it, I really suggest that everyone get their microbiome at least investigated, checked out, because you know, all the things that were in my gut, I really didn't expect to be there, and the things I expected to be there weren't there. So,
yeah.
You know, like suddenly, like, and then on the list of things, of foods and stuff that I had to cut out, I was like, these are all the things I live on. These are all the things I eat every single day, and they're healthy, good foods. But
like, can you give us some examples?
Like avocados and tomatoes and eggplants, and like
wow.
Just for me, for right now, like that's, you know, I think that's, I mean, I'm sure that people explain this all the time, but a lot of it is just for right now. Like, you have to eat this way for right now. You can, you know, it's like the hardcore elimination diet. And then when you slowly put these things back in, but you put, like, you know, like I feel so sensitive and so tuned into my body right now. And especially like as I was first coming off of that like I could like, you usually have a reaction in about 15, 20 minutes after you eat something.
Totally.
So, yeah. Which makes it easier to pinpoint it, especially if you're only eating like 5 things.
Yeah,
for sure.
5 different things like for weeks at a time. So
what were the 5 things you were eating?
Lots of bone broth, lots of green leafy vegetables, lots of collagen, protein, stuff. All that stuff is about rebuilding my gut. I also have leaky gut, and you know the celiac disease really beats up your intestines, and so we want to go back there with all that collagen and trying to help to like sort of plug up those holes and stuff. And you know, it's working. And I guess basically what I was eating was like clean, organic meats, tons of bone broth, tons of green leafy vegetables, and some sweet potatoes and cassava. No grains. Nothing, no like vegetables, no fruit with seeds in it or anything like that. Because all those tiny little seeds cause diverticulitis.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I've heard
you
that.
have holes in your gut. It's really not good for you.
Yeah.
But you know, like I mean, I think I know that my gut has, like, all of this work has really done a great job on repairing my gut. I see the evidence of it. And, you know, you can start to introduce those foods back in your diet.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And you've introduced a lot of them back into your diet now.
I have. I'm still having a couple issues with things like I was having a real hard time with tomatoes, which I love tomatoes. And, but recently I made something. Oh, I know what it was. I made, coq au vin for Bambi's birthday. I made it and then drove it down here the next day.
Oh, shit.
Because she was her favorite thing to eat. So we had that the first day. And it has just a little bit of tomato paste. And I remember the last time I made it, I couldn't eat it, but I could eat it.
Nice.
The other day. So hopefully I'm on the way to, you know, because it's important to have a good variety to eat the rainbow, as they say.
Yeah.
100%.
I'm glad you're on the way, though. That's so much better than what you were doing before. So congratulations.
Oh, my God. It's really such big news. It really is. And I know if anybody out there, any of your listeners suffer with that kind of stuff, I just want to give people hope that, you know, yeah, you probably have to invest some into trying to find out what the hell it is exactly. But I mean, I think that's probably more direct route and probably, you know, easier in a way than trying to just be like, is it this or is it that or maybe this?
Yeah.
Because, you know, you could be treating something because you suspect it's that, and it might not be that at all.
Totally.
Yeah. I mean, with all the products people probably buy, medications and going out to dinner, I mean, by the time you're done with it, $400 for like at least a mapping of your biome is like not that much.
Something like some real like scientific evidence that you can, you know, and it's fucking thorough too. Like I was having a toothache. I had a root canal that was abscessed.
Ooh.
And before I was even having pain, like I ended up having that tooth taken out, but before I was even having the pain, it showed up in my GI map.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Crazy.
Yeah.
Wow, that's very thorough.
The bacteria shows up because, I mean, from your mouth to your anus. So like, if it's in your mouth, it's in your anus. If it's in your anus, well, it's in your mouth too.
All holes. All the holes. Oh my God.
But hopefully not like a mommy cat. We don't want to be putting poop in our mouths.
No.
I mean, that's just ridiculous. Well, if there's anything else, I mean, if you have anything else you want to add, I have a little news story that we can get into that's kind of related to, I mean, it's not like, well, it's a winter story. Let's just put it that way.
Oh.
So, poopsicles. This story is about poopsicles.
Oh boy!
A meteorologist from Sioux Falls, Katie Nicolau, went viral on her TikTok by telling people not to eat icicles off their, like, you know, near their house or their roof, because of all the bird shit that collects it on the roof, and then all the melt water that comes down and turns into icicles. People are just eating that shit.
Ugh.
Which is, I mean, look, as a little kid, I'm sure I ate like some bird shit because I've definitely licked icicles as a kid, but obviously as an adult. So yeah, she's like, don't do it. It's like literally like just bird shit. Frozen bird shit. Yeah. I mean,
so
it had one. It was a PSA of her Poopy PSA on TikTok, 1.7 million views of people. So it's like,
my God,
it's pretty crazy,
well,
man.
now you know. The more you know.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's pretty gross. Like, yeah, don't do that.
You. Luckily, I won't have to worry about that.
Yeah, you're lucky. I mean,
yeah, you're in Florida where it's not
yeah.
hot.
I'm not like, there was no way you could pay me to lick an icicle off the roof of my apartment building.
No.
God knows it's in there. Which this story was in the New York Post of all places, which is a shitty paper, but they had a whole thing on poop, so I had to talk about it. But they also I might bring this up in another show. They teased another clip or another like story about in Alaska, the glacier, the Denali Glacier. They're saying with the whole like global warming and everything and the melting of the ice caps that like they're expecting to see roughly 66 tons of shit that's going to start melting down off these ice caps from like just people like over the years climbing these glaciers and shitting up there. So now anybody so anybody that hikes up in Alaska now has to take their shit out because it's just gonna it's a problem.
Ziploc bags.
Yeah, Ziploc. Yeah. See, you see how we tied it all in together, people? That's what you call an awesome podcast.
Nice little bow on that.
Yeah. Bam.
Well, with our last guest, we talked about the same thing, people. If you want to leave a place better than you came to it. So don't stop shitting. I mean, I've done it. I've talked about it. I've shit in the woods. But try if you can bag it and take it with you, do so.
Yeah. So
for the children.
Yeah, for the children. Or if you don't care about children, fuck it. Then just keep shitting. I don't know. Like you're like, not my problem. Anyway, but with that awesome story and awesome guest, Bunny Love, thank you so much for being on our show. We love having you.
It's so good to see you guys.
You too.
Hang out and chat.
Yes. And thanks to Bambi the Mermaid for making a special appearance on this episode as well.
Indeed.
Tell her we said hello.
Bunny, where can they find you?
Where can they find me?
Are you on social media? Do you have a website?
I don't have a website anymore. I'm a little hard to find these days, but I'll find you.
I mean, people in the know will know.
People who know will know for sure.
Well,
I want to introduce you to my friend Kimberly Kaye, so y'all can talk.
Oh yes, please. We need to get her on here.
I'll put her on my list. I started a very long list of future guests because.
Okay. I'll send you. Should I send you her her Patreon so if you put it in your show notes?
Yeah, we'll link it on the website.
Most definitely.
Perfect.
Please do.
I will.
Great seeing you, Bunny. Thank you again.
So great seeing
You too.
you.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Dave.
Oh yeah, I remember her. Him. I have some awesome photos from our time in Fire Island.
Yeah.
So I got some good stuff. But again, thank you. And we will talk to you soon.
Yay.
Awesome.
Happy pooping, everybody, and enjoy your butthole.
Hey Poopy Podcast is brought to you by Perfect 4 Entertainment, produced by Dave and Ellen, with executive producer Stormy Leather, edited by me, Dave.
For more information, go to heypoopypodcast.com for episodes, merch, and more. Follow us on Instagram at heypoopypodcast and Twitter at heypoopy. Theme song by Jordan Perlson. Hey Poopy.